like to welcome everybody to the October 23rd Board of Zoning Appeals meeting. The first thing on our agenda is to look at the consideration of minutes for the regular meeting of September 25th, 19. Are there any additions or revisions to those minutes? If not, we will accept them as submitted and move on to new business. The first item that we have under is special use permits. It's an application Z19-029 by Wan Jong Soon Nobles, requesting a special use permit for a home occupation as an alteration shop on property in a single-family residential zone RS10 district located at 414 Lynn Street. Mr. Cooper, if you will review that for us.
Thank you, Chairman Halliburton. Good afternoon, Chairman, members of the board. As you mentioned, this is for a dress alteration shop as a home-based business at 414 Lynn Street. The applicant has been operating the alteration shop off of Northfield Boulevard for about 15 years now, and they want to relocate her shop to the house. Her business will only generate about one customer at a time. We don't expect that to generate much more traffic than there already is in the area. The hours of operation, we have talked with the applicant and they're okay with 8:30 to 4:30 as to not disturb the normal traffic hours in the area. As you can see, the dress shop will be located in this shed on your screens, right behind the carport. It's a good little space right there. I just wanted to read the recommended conditions of approval for the record. Customer visits shall be by appointment only. No more than one customer at a time shall visit the home-based business. Any proposed signage shall comply with the zoning and sign ordinance and shall not exceed 3 square feet and shall be subject to any applicable permitting requirements. The last condition would be the business shall open no earlier than 8:30 and close no later than 4:30 p.m. I'll be here to answer any questions, and the applicant is also in attendance for any questions you might have for her.
All right. Does the applicant wish to say anything prior to the public hearing? Okay. If not, I'll officially open the public hearing associated with this application. Is there anyone here that would like to speak for or against this application? Seeing none, I will close, Matt, no. I will close the public hearing. Any of the board members have questions, comments?
No, sir.
So the only question that I have is, do you even plan on putting a sign up, or will you have no sign?
Just a little small sign.
I believe they wanted to put one in the door of the window.
Okay,
Not a very big one.
okay.
And Chairman Halliburton, by ordinance, that would be limited to no more than 3 square feet. And so as you can see there, the door is actually kind of secluded back there underneath the carport. If you look at the photograph that Mr. Cooper has up right now. And that's why we put the conditions on there, or the recommended condition on there that any sign would have to meet that requirement, as well as any kind of permitting requirements that the Building and Codes Department might have.
Okay.
But it is certainly at the board's discretion as to whether or not it wishes to allow them to have that sign.
Sometimes it's in the comments. Sometimes people choose not to even have the sign at all. So I just like to make sure y'all understand the requirements associated with the sign. And it also is good to know where the placement of the sign would be, so, but I don't have any issue with it.
I don't have any issues.
Okay, all right. And I guess if there's no other comments, we're ready for a motion.
Mr. Chairman, I would move for approval of the special use permit as presented by the staff and appears to be in compliance with all the issues that he's addressed, so I move for approval.
Second.
Would that be subject to the recommended conditions,
Yes,
Phipps?
subject to those conditions that he's already stated.
Thank you.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? There are none. Your application passes. Thank you all very much. The second application for new business is Z19030 by Greg Freeman, representing New Vision Baptist Church. They are requesting a special use permit for expansion of an existing institutional group assembly use as a church on property in the single-family residential RS-15 district located at 1750 North Thompson Lane. Mr. Cooper.
Okay, so there was a transfer of property in order for the city to extend West Northfield, I believe that is, right there. So the church actually lost some of their parking lot, and so as part of that transfer, the city gave up this section in question to allow for them to have additional parking on site. Beyond that, I really don't have much to say. If you have any questions for me or the applicant, Matt Taylor is here representing the church. Feel free to ask.
All right. So does anybody have any questions for, go ahead.
If I could add, I just wanted to read the
Okay.
recommended conditions of approval again. The applicant shall submit a site plan for review and approval in accordance with the regulations set forward in the zoning ordinance.
All right. Any questions from the board for Mr. Cooper before we open the public hearing? There are none. We'll go ahead and open the public hearing and let anybody speak for or against this application. Seeing none, we'll close the public hearing. And any questions, comments, or motions associated with the application? From the board, in case y'all are not awake.
No questions.
It looks like where West Northfield's gonna come through it's gonna be less parking space than what's gonna be built. So y'all are expecting, you're building more parking, additional parking above and beyond what is needing to be replaced?
Yes, ma'am. Matt Taylor from SCC. The church has been utilizing portion of the MMC or Murfreesboro Medical Clinic, and they've been shuttling people back and forth. And so this is hopefully going to, well, I say hopefully, in the short term going to solve that, and I'm sure they would like to continue to have that problem in the future, but they've identified that. So this is going to solve two issues.
Okay.
There should be a site plan on the screen there.
And I looked at it earlier, and I just wanted to
Yeah.
clarify that
Yes, ma'am.
is part of the.
Any other questions?
No questions.
If no other questions, do we have a motion?
If there's no further comments or questions, I'll move to approve based on, including the conditions of approval recommended by the staff.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? None. Your application is passed. Under staff reports and other business, we have a consideration of the 2020 BZA calendar.
Sir, Chairman Halliburton, that draft calendar has been included in your agenda materials, and unless you have any issues with it, we've tried to identify any potential calendar conflicts like spring break, fall break, things like that. And so I think that we're free of those conflicts, and we would ask you to approve as submitted unless you have any changes.
I'll give them a minute to look at it.
It's up on your screen now.
Good to me.
All right.
Agreed.
So do you need a motion to approve it or just?
Yes, sir. If the board
Okay.
could vote to approve it, we would
All right.
appreciate it.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Having a motion and a second, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? The calendar passes. Do we have any other business that we need to address before we adjourn?
Not from me.
All right,
No, sir.
we're adjourned. Thank you.